for 4 days. It is basically a 4 days workshop that we are having, and today is the second day where we have Venugopal sir, who's going to take up a session on Tally to Schedule 3 and GST automation. I would like CA Sarvesh Chapadia to introduce our speaker, CA Venugopal sir. Over to you, Sarvesh.
Thank you, Umang. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sarvesh, and it gives me immense pleasure to introduce today's speaker, CA Venugopal Ji. He is the founder partner in Messrs. Venu and Vinay, which is established since 2002. He is a CA rank holder and a CISA certified professional, and also holds certification in DISA, business valuation, internal audit, forensic audit, and fraud detection courses from ICAI. He has also completed a one-year course on data analysis and business intelligence from IIM. He is an active speaker at ICAI on GST topics, especially on topics related to technology and its implementation changes. He has authored various industry-specific handbooks on GST and has contributed to the technical guide on GST audit released by ICAI, amongst other publication materials. He also conducts workshops on filing returns with ease use of automation, and is also a GST faculty for ICAI and conducted various workshops and webinars from time to time. He played an active role in drafting and design of e-invoice along with GST and NIC. His other areas of practice includes design and development of internal controls and process documentation, consulting in ERP implementation and migration, management consultancy for business analysis and growth and design of management information systems. Apart from audits, he has his hands-on coding also in VB.NET, R, and Python. He also conducts various workshops for corporates on the effective use of technology using various tools and automated reports. He has developed a lot of Excel-based free utilities on GST, like creating JSON files, JSON reader, GST validator, composition versus regular benefit analysis, GST impact reader, real estate project switch decision analysis, GST audit working paper tool, and was the man behind the development and managing of cloud applications like TaxSmile, Insta Financials, and other applications. We welcome you, Venu sir, and we look forward for an enlightening session from you.
Thank you, Sarvesh, for your kind words in the introduction. Let me share the screen. Screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the session is 3 to 5. I will try completing it by 4:45. And in between, if you have any question and answers, please we'll take up the questions. I thought I'll do the theory portion first. In case if someone joins a little late, also it's fine, so that I don't want them to miss on some automation. For a change today, I thought, okay, is like, if we'll see if it works. Instead of me doing some automation on my system and the screen, if any of the participants volunteer, maybe directly on their screen, then they can share, and they themselves build some automated scripts and tools to experience that. So we'll see if someone is volunteering at that point. All that they need, all that I would be needing is a tally data and an Excel file. Just the tally data, you can change the company name to XYZ Limited. And just that how we can on a real time simulate and make it into automated. All right. In the meantime, you can think of who would want to volunteer so that you will learn by yourself. Let's begin the session on looking at various aspects of automation on GST. I'll complete on the GST compliance. Under GST, what we will be looking at, the basic compliances, what we are doing, what are the things, what automations we can do in it. and Schedule 3 financials is what we are going to see for today's discussion. Every session you are attending on technology, you are hearing these buzzwords: RPA, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning sometimes, image processing systems, blockchain. We have a course by ICA on it, and the bots which are coming into communication. In fact, some of you would have migrated yourself, your WhatsApp, into a business WhatsApp, and you would have set the moment someone sends a message, and if you're not available, you would have set an automatic message that, hey, I'm not there, I'll reach you at the earliest, whatever. So some of you have already migrated and started using small bots in your office, on your website, etc. Now the question is, are there buzzwords or are they reality? In my humble view, they are reality. If we do not appreciate and acknowledge the presence of there, we are going to become jobless in the days to come. And I am not making an exaggerating statement, but it's going to be fact. Is my voice audible? Any questions?
Actually, sir, someone had
Unmuted. Okay.
muted himself. Yeah.
All right. So if this is the future of the day, how a chartered accountant can fit into it? If I have to talk about RPA, robotic process automation, a simple example. We have this tax payments that needs to happen, the challenge that needs to be generated. Most of the CA firms handle the back office services for the clients. Maybe process the payroll of the clients, and to ensure confidentiality, even the payments is like the client transfers the bulk amount, the CA office does the payment, or payment of TDS services, payment of GST, the challenge. Now, in a month, there would be some crores of money coming in and going out, and nothing out of it, not even a single rupee out of it is your revenue. It's just a pass through. You might need to have some automation to ensure there is a control. And when I say control, the control in respect of having the correct payments going to the correct person, and the correct assessment years or the tax periods, everything. How can you do it? One way, you can get into a software guy, get them build it. But even for that, you need to visualize and say that, hey, this is possible. And all these features are going to come up in all the office management tools, which one is thinking of, one is doing of. These are the things which are going to come up. If you are aware, you can get it done from someone. And if someone is tech savvy, someone is interested to build something, and these are not complicated. Like today, most of the programming languages have GUI, and all the programmers, they have this either Stack Overflow or in the GitHub, they have some pre-written codes which are available, which will be used and which will get developed. Most of the time when I build an application, is like, trust me, I would only have 10% knowledge. Balance 90% is what I would have learned it online and I implemented. Like as latest as last week, we have automated someone has huge amount of payments that needs to go to different vendors. So they do not want to have the data ownership with the accounts team, but the person who is processing will be little less clue as to the thing. So once the management is writing a check, they want to ensure the payment is going to the correct person, everything. So all those payments they want to automate, and the automate is like everything should happen in front of them on the screen. Instead of manually doing, let a bot pick the data, keep happening it. So someone will be watching it and doing that, okay, correct numbers, correct thing is going, and etc. Very simple thing. But that automation has saved huge amount of time. Artificial intelligence is is a big thing which is being used by the departments in terms of assessment. Today, a notice is being served under, say, section 67, where someone wants to come for an inspection. It is, they already have a sufficient information, reason to believe that there is huge amount of tax is evaded. And when I say artificial intelligence, I'm not talking about 2A versus 3B mismatch. I'm not talking about 1 and 3B mismatch. It is like you have a data, is like you have been awarded as the best in the industry, like you got some CII, some award. And that company's turnover is no match in the GST records. A flag goes out. You are paying some royalty to legal metrology, geology department. The royalty amount reverse calculation is not matching to your turnover. You have a factory which is running, and the power bill that you are paying, the power bill is no match to the turnover that you have to disclose as the liability. Now, none of the information which I have mentioned is from the GST at all. So the data has come from different sources, and it has, system has automatically picked. Today, if you are getting a notice or you're called for something, it's not the officer, it is the system giving an instruction. Like in an e-way bill, if an officer is stopping a vehicle, the probability of it being erroneous is 90%, because officer is feeded with the system saying that if you find this vehicle number has crossed this toll, according to the e-way bill portal, this vehicle is carrying these goods and which has expired for renewal it as of yesterday itself, and it's still carrying. Or as per the portal, the route of this is to this route, but it is traveling to this route. Or the capacity of this vehicle is which is going is to carry some 100 kgs, whatever, but the load mentioned is 2 tons or vice versa. Now, these are the information which is picked from Vahan portal, or it is picked from the highway toll plaza. Everything today we all use smart cards, fast tags. All the data is collected and it's posted. So it's not a human being who is doing it, it's all systems which is doing. Customs department has adopted image processing system for a faster clearance. So the goods are, it is like what we commonly know whenever we go to railway stations and airports, we put our luggage and someone is watching what is there in it, are there any metal items and everything. So today for clearance and faster clearance, customs is adopting something similar to that. And where these images are processed, not by customs, but it is by the systems. And the image which is thrown into it, the system has an ability to capture and say what could be the items inside, what is the potential risk, should this be intercepted, all these things. I think someone was talking about no, not in the yesterday's session, but yeah, so the machine learnings are really having algorithms deeper in doing that, right? So whatever the words which you are talking about, buzzwords, they are not buzzwords, they are reality. Now, inside of this reality, what you and I should be doing or should be thinking of is, I'll only be talking about GST automation for another half an hour and then gets into hands-on. Is if you are a chartered accountant practicing and you have 10 clients for whom you are filing the returns. Matter of the fact, there is no or very few chartered accountants who actually work. Most of the time, we have our juniors, article assistants, or the paid audit assistants. They are going to collect the data, they are going to feed in the data, they summarize, print it out and come to us, we review, we approve, and they go ahead and file it. Now, having said that, the due dates are changing time to time. There are interest rates changes. Are the returns of the clients filed on time? Do I have a visual dashboard struck to my wall stating that these needs to be filed, so much have been filed, so much have not been filed? Do we have a status of that being displayed and available? Or if you are an accountant or if you are someone is doing, does the accountant has a dashboard saying that these are the activities I have to do, I have done? And if not, It's the time to adopt an office management solution. Which one, which software? Any software. Any software that is available locally. When I say locally, is like someone who is close to your doorstep, who you can knock and take it. My personal preferences, please pick up a cloud application than the desktop application. No offenses to any of the desktop service providers, but today application being available is more important. Is the cloud safe and secure? The answer is a clear no, but it is more secured than the way we organize. Today, we walk into any CA office or most CA offices, and a client says, okay, can you just help me in connecting to your Wi-Fi? So we give a Wi-Fi password, they enter Wi-Fi password, office network is open. Today, most of the CA offices earmarks one system as server, puts all the data into that. Technically, maybe server may not be server. It is a system, CPU marked as a server. Anyone can connect to it. Any newly joined article can connect to it. Someone who is leaving today can connect to it. And what is the access they have? They have all the access. Everything you want, they have the access. The vulnerability of that is very high. A very few offices, either they would have moved to OneDrive, SharePoint, G Drive, etc. Or there are very few offices who has implemented the Active Directory system and where the access to the staff is restricted on a use basis, role basis, need basis. Inside of this, the data which is there on the cloud is 200% safe than the practices that we have. Because at least in the cloud, we know to whom we are giving access to, what control we are giving. These data which is processed, do we have a reports time to time, whether at a group level or an entity level or a company level, or I have 5 GSTN IDs in the PAN. So that 5 GSTNs consolidated at a PAN level, do I have the information or not? Why do I need this information? Do I have a checkpoint just before I hit the filing button of say let's file GSTR1? Is there a visual picture someone is getting? Hey, look, this is the sales of yours month on month. So this is the graph, and suddenly this month the graph is higher or a lower. Or you may be in a seasonality business. So in Rabi or Kharif seasons, your business is high, or for someone the business is high in monsoon season, whatever be the seasons you have. Do you have a comparative coming up, showing up on your screen? Last month, June, this was the turnover. This month, June, this is the turnover. So can I go ahead and file the return? Right? Now, I'm not asking any of this to be done manually. I'm saying that this should be done automatic. And every time when I keep saying that, one thought comes to everyone's mind is, okay, tell me one software, I'll buy it, I'll keep it. Answer is no. Each one's practice is different. Each one's methodology is different. Today, I'm just going to show you one small tip, one small thing, which can also give you a variety of output possibilities that you can think of. So can I get a report at an entity level, at a group level, before I do the filing, not after doing the filing? Before that, can I get the report? If I am the CEO or the CFO of the group, can I get to know the compliances? Before I file or after the file, can I get a compliance? My own entity compliances, my vendors compliances, my customer compliances. Can I get all those things on click of it? Why do I need my vendor or a customer compliance? If I know a customer who is filing GSTR1 on time and GSTR3B late consistently, I know looks like there is a cash flow issue with him. I would think twice extending credit to that customer, or I would prefer offering additional 1% discount or 2% discount, saying that, hey, look, if you can pay in advance, I'll give you this, rather than spending time of my junior to follow up on them and various things. If I know that this vendor is consistently filing late, like I can mark the customers and vendors in red, amber, green. So I have better things to do in my business than just following up and saying that, hey, look, it's not visible in my 2A, not visible. And the other side, they'll say, No, sir, we have informed to our consultant it will come. Or some of them are quarterly filer. And first month you will send that, sir, it is not filed. He will give a reply, sir, I am a quarterly filer. Second month again, the reconciliation report will come. Today, business is so vast. No one has the time. Most of the people in the management, they only do courier job. Okay, consultant has sent this report. Second month also, an email will go to the same client saying that, sir, it is not visible. Again, customer will say, sir, I'm a quarterly filer. Now, these kind of things, where is the control that's happening? Now, it might occur very smaller things to you, but the amount of time is getting consumed or wasted by this. And you have to watch yourself what is the time which you're spending on. There are a lot of tools that are out there to monitor your time. You don't need to enter time at all. It's like I use a small software called Desk Time, where it is just installed, and every week I'll just see how much time I have spent on Excel, which worksheet, how much time I've spent on Microsoft Outlook replying mails, how much I've spent on WhatsApp, how much I've spent on whatever. Each thing is given. I get a daily report, I get a weekly report. So I know where is my productivity going in, what is it going in, right? So tools are there to track the compliances of ours and everyone. Reconciliation of the data which is filed and to be filed. Reconciliation of whatever is filed, what is there to reconcile? The answer is none of the clients' books of accounts gets closed on time. We file March, GSTR1 on 11th April, GSTR3B on 20th April. If my 1 and 3B is perfect, so 1 dealt my outward liability, 3B dealt my purchase and expenditure, and cash and bank, I cannot do anything on after 31st March. Technically, books are frozen. Do I really need to wait 30th September for the tax audit and again making representation to various forums for extending the filing date? But the matter of the fact, books are not closed. Why not closed? Journal entries not passed, some adjustment entries not passed, revenue not completely recognized, bills have come but bills are not approved, not posted, various things. The books itself comes to you for review in sometime in the month of June, right? So that means after filing the returns, there is a change happening. Today we are in August. Everyone have filed their July 3B. For filing July 3B, all that one does is take the data of the books of accounts July and file it. No one goes back to April and check April में मेरा turnover 1.5 crore था, तब मैं फाइल किया था. अब 1.70 लाख हो गया, 20 लाख का चेंज कहाँ से हुआ? Like no one has time and patience to go and check. The question is, should it be checked? The answer is yes. Then where is the end to it? Don't worry. There are tools. Tools are there to help you. Tools are there to read it, reconcile it, and give you a report. We are chartered accountants. We have brains. Our job is to purely ensure that we give a value additive data. We are not wasting our time in doing what computers have to do. So these are the various things I would say that one has to look into. Now, on terms of the compliances, I want to talk about outward, inward related. Currently, the challenges that we have is the user related. The employee's knowledge level is very low. And when I say very low, most of the time the chartered accountants attend CPE programs for various reasons, acquire knowledge, acquire CPE. But the team is not sufficiently acquired. I would always say, if I'm reading for 1 hour, my team should read 10 hours because they are the one who is doing it. They should be equally or more capable than me in terms of executing it and doing it a better way. Today, the data is growing humongous. Yesterday, I got a requirement from a large retail chain, okay, which is across India. The problem statement they have is very simple. Is every day the store gets the sales. There's a cash collection, credit card collection, and some coupon collections, gift voucher collections, sometimes credit notes. End of the day, my total sales should match with my receipts. and they made sure they brought into a system that before the till is handed over by one person to other person, it is matched. But they have another problem is customer says, okay, I'll pay by the card, and when the card the cashier bills makes it as card, when it swipes, the swipe do not go through, then he pays the cash. And there are different machines they carry. They have, say, ICICI Bank machine, they have HDFC Bank machine. Next day or T+2, T+3, when they get a settlement, they need to offset and do it. So they want to pinpoint and see which is missing. Now, I am a cashier, I have collected cash, but I have written into the card. And just a small amount, 100 rupees. Out of everyday collection of 1 lakh in a store, 100 rupees card is missing. The normal course the accountant does is he treats this as a bank charges and just posts it as bank charges. Today, no one reconciles bank charges. This is okay, some difference, small amount, it's okay. These small amounts makes a huge difference. And they want an accurate the contra adjustment between cash, card, coupon, credit note, credit voucher, gift voucher, everything. And they wanted us to build a tool which can handle it. And you wouldn't be like surprised. This is a retail store which has 320 odd outlets across India. And the solution that has been deployed to them is just a cost of around 75,000 rupees. And it's not something which is too rocket science. Simple Excel automation which reads the data automatically from their Oracle, puts into another software, that software does the reconciliation, a report comes, and report is automatically sent as a WhatsApp to the managers. Nothing big thing, but they were into is like huge issue for terms of adjustments and everything. We auditors have an ability to really think out of the box and come up with the solutions for these software related issues which are like multiple business ERPs. The production, there is a separate ERP, the sales is a separate ERP. So there are different ERPs that exist. Reconciling, getting the data and making sure that the right data is being used for the audit. We can give advices on the multiple entities. There are related party issues. So there's one unit which does the production, there's another unit which does the sales, all those things. Then on top of it, we have other challenges of classification. For most of us, it looks like a simple WhatsApp forward. Okay, flavored milk is taxable, but buttermilk is exempt. But dono or lassi is exempt. Right now, these are the things which come up, and we keep looking at kya chal raha hai. And unfortunately, these are the challenges. Not just here, there are challenges with the portal also. There is a change in the schema. There are multiple due dates, and you have 2A versus 2B. Which one you have to take? The HSN to be reported. Table 12 became mandatory from May onwards, which was never there. All these the challenges that exist. Now, in midst of all these challenges, is what is that one wants to do? How to take advantage of technology? How do we make use the technology well? And we have to do it. Beginning with outward supplies. We know e-invoice has come up. It's as of now 50 crores and above. Very soon it is applicable to say 5 crores or above. But today, on a real-time basis, the data is reported to government portal. So it's updating your GSTR1. Technically, it is there in the recipient GSTR2A. So 1 and 2A is auto-populating your 3B. Your monthly return is filed. In terms of filing returns, if I have to fast forward to the future, how does the filing returns happen? Nothing. It's like data is keyed in. So my sales time to time got reported, my purchases got updated, and the system automatically knocking off saying that so much is like if you see your GSTR 3B, offset is done by system, it generates a challan, You click a button. If you enable like this auto debit, today we have this ECS. So if you feel that everything is okay, set a limit that okay, every month I have limit of say 50,000 cash outflow up to 50,000 rupees. GST or 3B can be automated. And so it looks into this, prepares 50,000, debit your account, and boom, it's done. Now it might sound crazy to you, but trust me, there's one software provider for us is doing exactly the same. He is saying that up to this, I will not even ask you. I will go ahead and keep doing the thing. And there are 3-4 banks who have given APIs to automate the payment, etc. It is happening automatically. So the client independently is reviewing it at a later point in time at his interval, wherever the time. So things have been automated. And is this possible? The answer is yes, it's perfectly possible. So what is the automation which you can think of is e-waybill. Today the penalties under section 129 is very criminal. Like you missed something, 200% of the tax. You are carrying a material worth 5 lakhs, let's say 18% rate of tax. So 90,000 rupees is the tax amount. E-waybill expired, address wrong, HSN wrong, or some the party name is like instead of selecting Venugopal, someone made an error. They have selected Gopal. So data entry errors, unintentional. I'm not saying that I've like fraudster ko to lagna chahiye. There is no second thought in it, but this unintentional error. How can you do it? How can you avoid? Ensure data is one place. Click of a button, generate anything. Second click, generate e-waybill automatically. Today, even Tally 2.0, they have brought this automation. Now, honestly, I would say that this should have been there way back, but now at least they have come up. Superb feature. One has to adopt it. Like my e-waybill is expiring or expired. Suddenly, truck guy says, "Sir, expire ho gaya." 8 hours before, 8 hours after, it can be renewed. You don't need to go to e-waybill portal. From your application, press a button, it gets renewed automatically. Right? So change in the vehicle. So all these things, it can be done from your own application. We are not advising the client saying that aise kar sakte hai. The moment you advise, he may come back and say, "Sir, can you help?" Now, if you are aware of it, you can tell. If you are not aware of it, at least you can call the people in the circle and you can call Sanjeev Dada कि ऐसा problem है, इसको क्या कर सकते हैं? Like there are definitely many people who are willing to volunteer and help. And I should really appreciate Sanjeev for in the ERC for me, whenever I look at him, he is more like a tech man. He preaches technologies and he pushes people on moving to automation, advice on technology, and it's a huge transformation he is taken on to bring to ERC. So I should really appreciate his efforts. But at the same time, if you know some tool or a tip, I would recommend you to start explaining others. What will happen is your knowledge gets perfect. Second, you will know that, okay, I know only this and there's out there so much. Like the Excel trainings, whenever I do, I give an opportunity for people to explore same problem. They will come with 5 different approaches to solve them, right? So that's those are the things which are possible. So what's possible on in one click on the sales related, your e-invoice, e-waybill, your GSTR filing, so uploading, reconciliation, all this is going to happen on one click. So on a click of a button, all this is going to happen. Today, I'll also demonstrate on a click of a button how your financial statements are automatically happening. Your books of accounts changed. On a click of a button, your financial statements also gets changed automatically. How will it happen? I'm going to do a live demonstration. And moving further from the sales, if I have to talk on input tax credit, input tax credit, what is the obvious thing which we do is 2A versus 2B. But while recording purchases, can I say that, okay, this is 17.5 blocked credit? While filing my return, can it automatically say, hey, you have not paid within 180 days, you need to defer it or reverse it? or this is not matching with the vendor 2A, 2B. You have some exempted sales, you have to revert so much. Can the system do automatically all this? That's possible. I'll just demonstrate you one entry how it is possible. Especially reconciliation of those items where which is not there in the books. No, you have items in 2A, but it is not there in the books. From the compliance audit, you can ask this question, why is it not there in the books? Maybe it's lying with the admin manager, purchase manager, waiting for an approval. So from the accountant, you can just create a liability provision and close your books of accounts. You are waiting for invoice and approval system, but at least you have a method to track what are the things which are not accounted. I know some of the clients who are very clear that 2A is my purchases. I 100% rely on all my vendors. So instead of me doing the bookkeeping services, that's okay. I just import 2A. Sufficient to import 2A as my purchases. So the 2A as purchase, like I know, okay, this security agencies this is the company. This is my material supplier. This is my stationery supplier. So grouped your vendors into various expenditures. Press of a button, automatically system posts them as a purchase entry tally in the tally. So there nothing needs to be done. Payment, here is my bank statement. Whenever I make the payment to the vendor, I write the narration. You pick the narration automatically and post it. So with the bill reference, I do offset into the tally automatically. So there are methods wherein you can automate all your postings back into your books of accounts. Let me show you one demonstration of a tool where we tell the clients to automate on the cash control on the vendor payment and vendor the supplies. Let me just demonstrate one. So what does this do? It connects. There is a central server which pulls the data from GST and e-way bill various things. And from the tally, there is a small TDL which is written. It connects to that, fetches the information and update back the book saying that this is, yes, this is right, this is there, everything is perfect. Let me just demonstrate a moment for you. Let me just add the TCP. Okay, so looks like some configuration is missing. Let me just add that. Just give me a moment. Let me wait. By the way, is the tally screen visible to you?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let me just see whether it's working. Okay. So if it's not working, by the end of the session, I'll just show you. So here is my simple tool. So I have my purchase register, which can connect and say whether this is matching or not matching with the government portal. And the purchase register is prepared in a way where we can understand how much of the data is there in 2A and how much of the data is not there in 2A. If something needs to be automated, we can automate it and get that. Let me pick. Anyhow, let's try this. In case if it's failed, I'll just. So let me just see whether this should work. So here is the purchase register. So there are so many purchases. I'm just picking some, and I'm just saying that okay, upload. So what it is doing is it is connecting to the government portal and checking whether the data is available on the government portal or whether it is not available. Maybe it would be available in some name. So it could be any of it. Now, imagine the time it is taking, and whereas like every month before they file the returns, they are ensuring they are checking with all the data whether it is there, not there. On a real time, it is reconciling and showing it to me. Before I make the payment to the vendor, payment to the vendor, it is showing that okay, this is there in the portal, this is not there in to the portal, it is showing up. So I can hold so much amount of the GST from him, and I will say that I'll be paying only the balance amount. Now, if you look at it, these vouchers have been reconciled and real time it is updated. So these are, of course, some names I have changed. So you can see whatever which is there in the black color, you have not put anything. Whatever which is there in the green color, you can see there is something, it got updated as 2A and 2B as yes. And whatever which is there in the blue color, no, the 2A and 2B is no. Reason, GST number could be wrong, invoice number is wrong, or something name has been changed. Some posting entries have happened. Now, let's take this Enterprises. Okay, so I'll go to this ledger Enterprises, and I want to make the payment to him, the bill-wise payment. Let's say I am in March 21. Okay, I forgot the bill which was. Yeah, so this is the bill. So it shows that 2A, 2B is not there. So the party has not made the payment. So you know before making the payment, it is not there. You can quickly call the party and say that, hey, look, you have not updated. And whenever you get an email from the parties, no, this has been updated, we have filed it, please check up. All that you will say is, okay, you will want to recheck the status. You will say, okay, it seems they have uploaded, please check whether it is uploaded and there or not. So on a real-time basis, you are getting this tool, this information. So all that happened is you didn't travel out of your tally. books of accounts, you are there in the books of accounts, you are getting the information automatically from your books of accounts. So you can build these simple automation tools that are out there available. Next, again, from the tally itself, you can look at all those line items where you have not paid GST for your RCM compliance. This is one other, the biggest non-compliance under GST. Tomorrow, when you get a notice, the cost is you will be paying the liability, but you will not be able to take input tax credit because the 16(4) would be applied. Today, 1718 audit is picked. Now you realize, yes, RCM is applicable on this royalty that I have paid to the government. The government would say, okay, you pay the liability, but you cannot take it. Can I get this information automatically from tally? Like, again, it is also everything one click. Let me just go to tally and so here is the thing. I have just created non-GST vouchers. So you have expenditures. So I can list out my expenditures which are without GST, incomes without GST, or a detailed analysis for myself. So I click on this button, expenditure non-GST vouchers. So it is going to analyze all the transactions where you have the expenditure, and it is showing by vendor, by party name. You get party name and the expenditure name where the tax ledgers are there, not there. So I can just select, okay, show me those vouchers without GST. So give me only the list of vouchers where GST is not there. So it is showing, okay, these are the ledgers where GST is not there. So one has to check why GST was missing in this ledgers. So it's something very simple where people can just implement, and it doesn't going to take. And from your audit perspective, so in one go you have analyzed everything and the auditing is going to happen. So on one click, you can get all the expenditure, and this is applicable for income tax also. You know, these are my TDS to be done. Can I get which are the line items where TDS has not been done is something which you can think of and do the automation of. GSTR 3B. Today, I would recommend every client on an advisory mode. We get the data directly from tally to the government portal, or whatever be the ERP, from there to the government portal. So let the automation be that you look at the transactions are correct. You don't waste time in taking the data into Excel, downloading the government Excel, putting the data into that order and do copy paste. And ये copy paste के चक्कर में कि people दूसरे महीने का डेटा ये महीने में डाल देते, या दूसरे क्लाइंट का डेटा एक लाइन में डाल देते, हो सकता है? Of course, is like in my GSTR1, I can copy Reliance GSTR1 and upload. Portal will take because I am selling it to someone. So any customer name is taken. People makes mistakes. Can you do an automatic adjustments? Again, in refund, this is one area people struggle a lot getting a right JSON. And the after circular 125, the ask of the department has gone up, where you are expected to report the HSN wise classification of your purchases you are making, segregation of purchases into input services, capital goods. So along with uploading the supporting documents. Can this be automated? Answer is yes. Everything one click. Next, people don't consider, is there a way that I can get a maximum possible refund? Instead of filing a refund for April, May, June, can I file April refund separately, May and June refund separately, so that I get a higher refund? How is it possible? Because under inverted duty structure, you know that you are purchasing in 1 month, making sales in another month. And the month in which you are selling, if you have a different structure, like wherein the lower rate of goods which have been sold is marginal, and higher rate of goods which have been sold is a different. So these percentages would make a difference in the quantum of the refund that comes. So one should also look at it. You know, today no one pays attention in offsetting liability. When you have an IGST credit, SGST, CGST credit, is there an optimal possible that IGST credit Instead of by default portal offsets everything to CGST. Instead of reducing it from CGST, I'll put it to SGST, so that I will not end up paying CGST cash and having SGST credit balance in my books of accounts. So these are smaller things, but people don't pay attention, and there is a possibility of making automations of all these things, and systems are there to do and check these automatically. So automation of things under GST is possible. Well, I have just shown you what are the various automations that can be one can think of considering doing it. In terms of other automations, I would say more on the reporting side. You can create your own compliance dashboard, something which can give you the list of returns that needs to be filed, whether they have been filed within the due date or not, like in a color combination, red filed after say 4 days, 5 days, orange with 1 day delay. So you can do it. You can have automatic report under one pan. What is a matrix level? What is the cross billing? Can you prepare annual returns on a month-on basis? All these things is possible. In fact, preparation of GSTR 9 on a monthly basis. I would like to just mention one point. In our office, wherever the clients who get the compliance services available, they get a copy of GSTR 9 and 9C every month. So if the books of accounts are closed, say for the month of April to July is treated as a basis, and we prepare 9 and 9C, thinking that is the total period. And if something to be carried forward to part 5 into table 10 or 11, or if there is some adjustment which needs to be done, so that gets reported on a month-on-month basis. Is it possible? 100% yes. Is it done manually? Answer is no. Like each person handles on an average around 20 clients returns. Now all these 20 clients, they get this compliance report, and it is done automatically. More so, it also has a watch status which will give that, okay, these are the vendors filed late, all these things. Everything is done by different tools, collated, consolidated, put into one report and given to the client. Client feels happy. He gets that his information is there at one place, and if something goes wrong, error is human. Rather than reacting at a later point, proactively, if I know that these are the errors that have happened, can I correct in advance? That is the opportunity, and that's the possibility. You can correct in advance. And we give something called auto watch report. So we look at the critical suppliers, we track their GSTR 1 and 3B filing status. When they have filed, it is automatically presented in their compliance report. So with these are the things I would like to talk on GST automation. So before I move to schedule 3 automation, any questions to anyone? Any questions?
Sir, I think no one is having any question right now. I think we can take it up at the end also, because
all right.
Yeah, because
so
yeah.
Great. Okay. Now moving on to schedule 3 automation. Schedule 3. Okay. So in schedule 3 automation, people might have different applications. Tally is what I'm using as a demo. The same thing can be replicated to SAP, Oracle Financial. It could be any application. Tally is something very easy. You and I can easily understand, demonstrate, and do it. Generally, I demonstrate. For a change today, I thought if someone is willing to volunteer, I will make them do it. So you all know that, okay, it's such a simple thing. It's just that we can easily do it, right? So I just want to check if anyone wanting to try out yourself is like, I'll just give you steps. You just need to press.
So we have one volunteer, sir. So we have one volunteer.
Okay, who is that?
Mr. Gaurav Rathi, sir.
Okay, very good. So Gauravji, do you have I would say, like, do you have Excel and Tally? Maybe you can unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself. So Gauravji, can you just share your screen, please? Perfect. So we have Gauravji, sorry, you should be sharing full screen, not just Tally. So if you can share full screen, because we will be using browser, you will be using Excel, you will be using Tally. So people will be knowing. Okay, perfect. So now there is one company. Can you just press Alt F3? Alt. So their books of accounts are there from 2 financial years. So you can see there are books of accounts from 1st April 18 till date. The books of accounts are there, right? So now let us see whether this Tally is connected externally. Meaning, can I talk to this Tally? Does this Tally talk to me? And by the way, those who wants to try out yourself, you can also try these steps. I'll put it in the chat what is that I'm doing, so you can also try out yourself. Now, how do I know that this is talking to the external world? First and foremost, you should enable the Odbc connectivity. So what is Odbc connectivity? In my Tally, in the Tally, if you notice, on the configuration below here, you can see that gateway, Dell PC, and Odbc server 9000. So that is something which is showing up. So let me see whether this Odbc is working or not. So you have to connect to the local host. Saying, is my local host working, is the question that comes. So what is that local host? So it is showing local host 9000. So those who are with the Tally, in front of the Tally, I'm just putting a command on the thing, including Gauravji. Yeah, Gaurav Ratiji, on the chat, you will see one URL. Can you just click on that URL, please? So there is one small URL on in the chat. Can you click on that? In fact, if your Tally is open, everyone should be able to click. Sir, I think your screen, it is showing not responding. When someone, sir, Amitji, will this work in Tally Prime? Perfectly, it will work. So right now it is saying local host. So nothing is happening, right? So local host refused to connect. Now can you open Tally, please? Let this be there. Don't close the browser. That's okay. And friends, don't worry on the time. If we are not able to do it in 10 minutes, I'll take over and I'll do it. It's okay. Gauravji, your screen is, Gaurav Ratiji, your screen is not shared. Okay. Anyone else would like to try? Otherwise, I will share my screen.
Will you please go ahead, sir? Okay, sir. He has shared his screen, sir. Mr.
Yes.
Gaurav has shared his screen.
Yes. So Gaurav, now can you click on that? Again, you have shared only Tally screen, so others will not be knowing what's happening on the browser. Okay. I think there is an issue with Gaurav Ratiji. So let's go ahead. Okay. So when I hit this, whatever the thing which I have posted on the chat, this is what I have posted, localhost. When I click this, it is saying the Tally ERP9 is running. All right. So, request the host to mute others. So in the interest, I'm muting everyone. Okay. So it says Tally ERP9 is running. So how did it happen is you have to ensure that in the tally, okay, F12 advanced configuration, F12 advanced configuration, you need to ensure that, okay, the Tally server is running. It is set as both client and server. So I can read this as a server, I can treat it as a client. Both the option it is running, and it is running on this port 9000. That is what I have given. So some of them have asked, will it work in Prime? Even Prime, it will work. So what you need to do for making it work in the Prime? In the Prime, if you are using Tally Prime, this option you can enable it on the Tally Prime in the right side, F1. On the right screen of your Tally Prime, you will find F1 help, settings, connectivity. You can just see F1 settings, connectivity, client server configuration. You can just set as yes. So once you are setting this as yes, both the places, once it is set as yes, when you hit this thing, so right now ERP9 is running because I have opened that first. The other, for some of you, it would say Tally Prime 2.0, whatever is running. So this is what it is going to do. Now, very unfortunate, no one is able to work. If you are able to work, no, it will give you that experience that, okay, you have automated things for yourself, like you can expand to the next level. And I always advise people to keep exploring and do bigger things. Okay, let me come to Excel. Here is a plain Excel. Let me create a new file. Let me save this file, okay, in my D drive. Let's say financial statements. And feel free to put a question in your chat box whenever you are struck, whenever you have a doubt, whatever the doubt you get it, feel free to put a question in the chat box. Okay. Now, what am I trying to do? What is that I want to get? I want to prepare my Schedule 3 financials automatically from Tally. So for that, what do I need is my Tally for a given period and financial statements for a given period. Now let me just prepare a balance sheet. Let me prepare a balance sheet from the Tally. So for the sake of our understanding, I am let me check which period I have. 9th April. So I think the data is for the financial year 2021. Okay, no problem. So I say April 20 to March 21, and display statement of accounts, my statistics. Okay, I'm able to see there are 3,800 vouchers. So various things are there. Okay, this is a live data. So my P&L shows some 55 lakhs profit. My balance sheet is matching. All right. So let's prepare financial statements. Now, let's start with, this is a blank Tally which we just created. I'll say balance sheet. Okay. And what do we need for the balance sheet? So I need assets, liability, some, right? Let me just type out balance sheet, assets, liability, everything. So let's just create something. Okay, this is a plain file. I've just copied from the tally, whatever the headers that I have. I've just typed it out. Okay. I've just typed out my yeah. So I've just typed out the plain balance sheet. How do one prepare balance sheet? Crudest way is I go to balance sheet, I look at here, current account capital 19,61,277, 19,61,277, and my fixed capital 2 crore 66 lakhs 80,000, 2 crore 66 lakhs 80,000. Okay, one method, very crude method. What's the alternate method? Is I go to display trial balance, export to Excel. I can just export this to Excel. Let me just export it to D drive. Trial balance. And in my here is the trial balance. So I just copy it. People get this trial balance like this, and they go to the thing, plus come to the trial balance sheet and do this loans liability, plus come and select, okay, so much is loans. That's the second way of doing it. The third way of doing it is, okay, I give schedules, link it to the schedules and schedules. There are multiple ways of doing it. What is the challenge in doing in each way, whatever we are doing, is this data is linked to my some data in another sheet. Most of the offices, again, I have noticed, is they have financial statements, version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4. Then partner has reviewed, partner review, Venu review 25th August. Under that folder, balance sheet, final 1, final 2, final 3. ना जाने कौन जाने कि final 4 है कि नहीं. Most of the time, I would have told some audit entries to be posted. मेरे टैली पे यहाँ audit entries है, वो client के टैली पे नहीं है. I have a printed signed financials. Next year audit is happening. I'm doing an opening balance verification. ये एंट्री नहीं मिल रही है, यहाँ का टैली जो है एंड वहां का जो टैली है, सम कुछ गड़बड़ है. क्या एडजस्टमेंट डाला, हाउ डू आई फाइंड इट? रीप्रिपेयर द बैलेंस शीट, सी ओके डेटर्स मैच हुआ, क्रेडिटर्स मैच हुआ, अदर करंट लायबिलिटीज नॉट मैच, go to that schedule. Oh, okay, this is okay, there is one increase in other current liabilities, there is one other increase in other current assets. Then when you go in details, maybe tax, advance tax paid and income tax payable both got netted off. Under tally it was showing separately, it both would have got netted off and it was presented. So these are the various things that would be happening. Now, honestly, isn't it a challenge in the office or not? Say yes or no in the chat. For a moment, I have switched off my screen presenting. I want to hear that. Do you have some challenge in finalizing the financials? And whatever I have said is just something. You might have a different issues that would come up, right? So today, what we are looking at is we are trying to automate it. And Umang ji and Navin ji, please excuse. साथ साथ मेरा चाय आया है, चाय ले रहा हूँ. So so participants can serve themselves at there. Now, let me create a Power Query. So I have actually created a Power Query, and here is one link. Let me put it in the chat. You can use this for you at your, oh sorry, I have not shared it. Here is the link which I have put it in the chat. On clicking on this link, it will take you to again a different page. Don't worry. At this point, this might sound Greek and Latin to you. So I will slowly explain you what I am doing, how I am doing. To start with, to establish that the Tally can talk and understand to the external world. In your Tally, this calculator panel, in your Tally, in the calculator panel, I am doing something now. What am I doing? Let me just press Control N, and I want to know cash. So can you see it is giving you cash balance automatically, right? Let me take one. Interest. Okay. So in the calculator panel, I want to know what are the fields which are there in the ledger. I'll say select star from ledger. I said select star from ledger, and it has given some 360 or by default there are only two ledgers that gets created, cash and profit and loss account, which is there. These are the two ledgers by default that gets created. Can you see the list of information that is available? So we have never used the power of connecting to a database and querying. Now here is a data where it has huge set. So I'm taking another simple query. I'm making like this is the query. I'm just copying it, going to my Tally. Let me press Control N. So Alt Control V. Now can you see automatically? I have got the ledgers with the ledger name. This parent is excess grouped under duties and taxes. It had an opening balance so much, closing balance. No, it has all the information. Okay, here Anil Enterprise debtors, opening balance 4,943, closing balance 1 rupee, net debit, credit, whatever you want, you can automatically create. If I go to trial balance, I would have never got this information earlier. In a normal course, this information wouldn't have been received by me. But now this information is there by way of query. So you can extract the data from Tally the way you want, Now, given that I understood that I can extract the data from Tally, and I have also seen that when I have given this localhost command, Tally ERP is running. So from the browser on a port localhost, I can send one command called select ABC from Tally, get it. Whatever the output it comes, get that. So that is where I am now using something called Power Query. I'm using Power Query. In your Excel, you will find this data. You'll find get data. And trust me, what you and I know about Excel is just 1%. If sometimes 1% may be exaggerating also. It is ocean. And people earlier was when we talk about advanced Excel, we used to talk about advanced pivots, H lookups, sum ifs, if commands, slicers, macros. No, these were called as advanced Excel. But today, if I have to say, these are basics of Excel. अगर आप कोई बोलता है Excel जानता है, it is given कि he knows how to prepare power tables, he knows how to insert a field, how to put a slicer. Macros, I'll still say advanced Excel. But for me, advanced Excel, I'll say you have an ability to use power commands. So Power Query it has come up very recently. When I recent का मतलब है 3 साल हो गया, 5 साल हो गया. This is called M language. These are called M scripts. So in Excel is not a database, but to advance, to give at par comparison with either SAS, Tableau, other visualization tools which can fetch the data and present it. Excel has said that I am also at par. Now, there are so many features. I am using one simple feature called creating a query for which I am getting from a new source. Let me say a new source, other sources, and a blank query. I have mentioned that today I'm doing a demonstration from Tally, but you can do from various sources. How? You can do from simple file. So query can be written from an other Excel workbooks. So client has a system where data is there in an Excel workbooks. It is there in a folder. Think of a system, the trial balances every month is pulled and put into a folder, or payroll statements and bank statements are in one folders. I can spool them automatically and present it and give it. I don't need to do anything. 10 records, 10 files are there. It can come automatically. I can read data from a PDF. If it is a structured PDF, data can be read from that automatically. You can read it from the other database, SQL servers, Oracle servers, MySQL, PostgreSQL, which is on the most of the browser SQLs or PostgreSQLs. It can be read from that. And they have done a beautiful connection with Azure. Okay, if someone is using Navision, if someone is using any of the various versions of Microsoft, directly I can connect to it. If someone is using SAP Online, okay, I can connect to this Dynamics 365 Online. HANA, SAP HANA is also there in the database. So people, you can connect to any of the sources. If not a standardized database, I can use the web and various feeds. And I'm only starting with one blank query. I'm starting with a blank query. So what is the blank query to be written? Here is a function where I have to write. So my query is little lengthy. So I am choosing to go to advanced editor. So I'm saying instead of writing query here, instead of writing query in this place, let me write the query here. So I am choosing to advanced editor. I am progressing a little bit. I am saying, okay, get me the advanced editor. So it's asking you to query. Okay, what do you want to do? Let Excel do this. Here is my source. Do this. Give me what output you want to give as in what table, what format. So let and in. Now what do I type it here? So for the ease of yours, on the same this which I have given you, you have next thing this Power Query code. Okay, under the home, new source, blank query, advanced editor I have given for your ease. All that you do is you copy. Don't worry about the junk which is seeing. Over the time, once you have done it, you have an ability to manipulate, interpret, change the thing, you can do it. So basically all that I have said is, okay, get opening balance to field opening balance, net debit, net credit. It's just structured. Put it into one query. Don't worry about it. So copy from your let into your trial balance. Okay, copy it, and all that you are doing is you are putting it. Only thing you have to take care. The only thing you have to take care is the financial data. The data is in which period? Whether in this case it is showing 1st April 2019 to 31st March 20. Okay, in the query, you check your Tally data, which period is there. So here in fact, some of you can, as I am doing it, you can just press that Excel button. You can also do it for yourself. I'm just changing this. My data is there from 1st April 20 till 31st March 21. 1st April 20 till 31st March 21. So what I am saying, on this URL localhost, this is the body. Basically, that's in an API call. I just send something, I get that result. So whenever I get that result, I'm saying this is the result, capture the result, and I'm just doing header transformation. This is what I'm doing. Okay. Now what does this is going to reflect? Watch the magic. I am hitting something called done. All that I'm doing is I'm pressing this button, done. You can see automatically the data has come up. Automatically the data has come up. Ledger name, ledger parent, primary group, opening balance, net debit, credit, everything. So here I got the query one. So what this query is, this is the trial balance. So let me change this. Let me change this here as trial balance. When I change it there, just watch it here. This is going to become my trial balance. All right. So trial balance, it got done. Now, advantage of Power Query, it is more like an English language and it is sequential. You can use it. So what I did, it went to this URL. This is my body. There was a from date and a to date. With the from date and to date, my body got revised and changed to this body, and I have applied. Then it gave me this source. So I made some minor corrections into the source. I just changed the order where whatever, made some changes. So here is your output. Okay, what do you want to do? I will say close and load to, and timing, and let me load it to a new worksheet. All right. Okay, your trial balance is ready. Boom. And the advantage, okay, let me make it a little more like a proper output. So here is your trial balance. You have balance sheet and trial balance. What's next? I can prepare schedules. I can prepare schedules automatically. How do I prepare schedules? You have trial balance. I'll just show you. So it's a one-time activity. So same, I'll go to my data, get data, and friends, feel free to stop me, ask your questions in the chat. I'm there. I'm just launching the Power Query editor. I have an option to reference or duplicate. Which one I should choose? That also I've given here. So between Power Query, what does duplicate or what does reference means, I have given. So here I have to get the data. So you will use duplicate to copy the entire code. You will use the reference will only out of the previous query, you will take the result of it and you will further move on. So here I'm taking a reference of the trial balance. So I am making this as sundry debtors. I'm saying this as sundry debtors. Okay. How do I get my sundry debtors? My primary group name is sundry debtors. Okay, so I got my sundry debtors as the primary group. Now I only need name and the closing balance. I don't need rest of the thing. Either I can select what I don't want or I can select what I want. I can either remove columns, other columns. I can just say, so I only need this. I'm removing other columns. And I want closing balance only 0. So I will just give a number filter, does not equal to, and let me say does not equal to 0. Okay. So I got my sundry data automatically. All right. Close and load to. So I am just saying close and load to the existing worksheet. I'm loading it here and I'm saying okay. So you have sundry data automatically with you. Let's put it. What is the advantage of it being a table? Tomorrow a data changes, your table gets automatically updated. Let me put a total to it. In tally, debits will have a negative value, credits will have a positive value. So you need to find automatically alter it. And if you see it is subtotal your closing balance automatically. I can say my total. All right. So I have debtors. Can I get creditors? Easily. I'll just get right click of it. Okay, I'll right click this. Now I don't need to reference it because it's already coming from trial balance. I'll just say duplicate. I'll just say duplicate. So sundry debtors is there. I'm making it as sundry creditors. And watch carefully the power of M language which I said. So how do I make sundry creditors automatically? Here in my Power Query editor, it is taking the whole of the code and it is duplicating and creating one more thing, which is sundry creditors. Sundry debtors is there. So let me change this to sundry creditors. On the screen, I've changed it to sundry creditors, but still what I'm seeing is debtors, right? So this was the source which had everything. I have applied and filtered something, right? Now this filter I'm changing. All that I'm doing is, you can see this is the query. So step by step. So this query, so this is like in a macro, you have functions where you will call sub functions, everything, something like that. Though not exactly. I am now changing it to sundry. Instead of sundry debtors, I'm changing it to sundry creditors. That's all. So all that I did is I changed it to sundry creditors. Next step is remove other columns. It got removed. Next step is remove those values which are 0 is not there. That's all. So I'll say close and load to, and it asks where do you want to load. I will say okay, these are my schedules. I will load it here. Let's say where do I want to do my existing worksheet. Load it. All right. So this is your sundry creditors. So your schedules are ready. Okay. Still, you might find it sounding a little crazy, but I'll agree. So what do? I'll say my creditors is equal to, and those who are smart, they will use indirect function automatically. Okay, there is no total done. Let me just do a total to my creditors also. Okay, so now in my balance sheet, I can do an indirect sundry creditors and automatically get total of the table sundry creditors. So in the formula itself, you can see that this is sundry creditors total closing balance. Is like, hope this is visible to you. The formula itself is showing sundry creditors total. Now let me get sundry debtors. I said the debtors will have a negative balance, just made it as this. Okay. Now you might say that I get that, okay, instead of putting into Excel, exporting it to Excel, putting it into one sheet, you have done some automatic, but how far this will help? Let me show you how far this will help. These are the two values which we had. Imagine these are the values that we are having. Okay. Let's look at my schedules carefully. Here is one debtor CR Electric, 2,11,000. I'll just put into comma style. Let me just zoom this further so that everyone can see it. Okay. So CR Electrical, there is 2,11,000. And Chetak Manufacturing, 2,26,000. For a moment, let us think that there are two related parties, and CR Electrical said, okay, you don't need to pay, offset with this Chetak Manufacturing. Okay. So I am posting an entry. Think this as an audit adjustment entry. As on 31st March, I'm posting an entry. I'm saying this Chetak Manufacturing Company, where I have to pay 2,26,000. They have agreed that, okay, 2 lakh. So 2 lakhs need not be paid. And what was the other name? I forgot. CR Electricals. The CR Electricals, even the 2 lakhs can be offset. So both have agreed to offset each other, right? So this is what an audit adjustment entry which has been posted, right? All that I do is I have trial balance, balance sheet, and schedule. I just go to my, let me just, before I show the next magic that's going to happen, all this while this was perfect matching. Now look at, all that I'm doing is I'm just saying refresh. So it just connected to tally data, and it has taken the query background, updated. Can you see by my debtors, creditors, everything is refreshed. And earlier it was 34 lakhs balance. Now it has become 32 lakhs balance. Automatically, whatever is the data which is there in tally, on a real-time basis, it is updating and showing. So your trial balance is changed. Your schedules from 2 lakh odd, it became 11,000 and 26,000. So your schedules trial balance is changed. The trial balance data is linked to the schedules. Schedules got changed automatically. So I don't need to do anything. Automatically the system does. So if I have to know whether I have posted, I have the latest or everything, I just refresh it, print it, see it matching, do a basic verification. You have the data with you. Some of you are very seniors and say that, okay, I'm too old to learn and understand these queries. Do it. Tell your staff. It's pretty simple. It's as simple as what I have done. Even more simple, you want it in a packaged query. I have the next thing which is there in this URL, where I have given the schedule 3 financials. You have another URL here. You can just copy this. Let me paste this URL. So what is it going to do is it will take you to a file, schedule 3 financials. So click on download financials. So let me just get this, the financial, you will get an Excel file which will be opened. It will connect and open an Excel file. All right. Let me just close my Power Query financial statement. It will open an Excel file like something like this, where you have your master data. You can enter your company name, all this information. Right now you have balance sheet, P&L, which is blank. So on the Excel, you will find a new button. You will find a new button called Autobal. Click on this Autobal. You will find another button called Schedule 3 Financials. You will find another button called Schedule 3 Financials. Look at the magic now. All that again, what is that you have to check? Period. So I'll go to the period master data, which is the period financial year 2021 I want to get. Okay, 2021 is there in my master data. So let me come. How to use is already here in this. There is instructions. Come to my trial balance current year. There's no data. So all that I'm doing is I'm saying schedule 3 financials. I click this button. It is going to ask, is it for current year or previous year? Press yes if it is current year. Press no if it is previous year. Accordingly, it will select the period. I'm just saying yes. All that, just watch what it is doing. So the same, it is like connecting to the Power Query, but here it is little advanced version. It is getting the data. Along with getting the data, it is also doing the grouping, like how we have prepared that sundry debtors, sundry creditors, all those schedules which we have created, it is going to group. After creating, it is automatically linking it to my schedule 3 financials. It's going to do everything for you. And look at the time it has done. Depends on this, like we have around 5,000 line items, whatever. So you have, it is done in 40 seconds. That's all it takes to do it. Larger data, it may take a minute. That's okay. So that's the time it will take to do it. Now you may say, okay, fine. What did it do? Let's look and see what it has done. Let me go to my balance sheet. Okay. There are only two things you have to take care after doing this is closing stock and the opening P&L account. So these are the two things manually you have to adjust it and do it, because it's not going to do that for you. You have to manually do that. So let's look at my borrowings. It is showing 1 crore 89 lakhs. Let me see in the tally. No, I think something wrong. Loans is showing 6 crore 45. Don't think so. Yeah, there are bank OD, which it has classified as short-term borrowings automatically. 4 crore 55 lakhs. You know, this is bank OD. It system has done automatically as short-term borrowings. All right. I hide that. 189,66,000 is long-term borrowings. It has automatically done. In my P&L, my turnover is 32 crores 90 lakhs. Let me go to P&L. My turnover is 32 crores 66 lakhs. Did it make a wrong? Look at the thing. It has automatically classified 32 crore 66. Can you see this 32 crore 66? So it has taken my sales into sales and my other operating revenue. I have 23 lakhs indirect income. This has automatically been classified as other operating revenue. So it has done intelligently some more job of automating. And how did it bifurcate sale of products, sale of services? Let's look at this. In the sale accounts, you see something as job work charges 1,78,000. So 1,78,000 it has come as sale of service. So system has an ability to classify. If you want to change the classification, you can always change. Let's say from your other operating income, there are out of this the discount on purchases. Okay, discount or purchases, or like let's say this interest received on income. Okay, this interest received on other income. For a moment, I want to change it. Change it to what? I want to change it to lease income. So I'll go to my ledger mapping. I will say this ledger, which is called interest income, which is received, I want to map it as lease income. I want to say this and this in my ledger mapping, lease income. Look at this now. Your P&L will still be 32 crores 90 lakhs. In your notes to P&L, you can automatically see there is something product, service, lease income, other operating income. Earlier, this was 2377, of which 70,000 has gone to lease income. So system has an ability to do things automatically by itself, right? So I can do it current year, previous year, press of a button, I get the latest financials automatically from Tally. So here I have presented two different ways of doing, and trust me, this is just like scratching the surface, tip of an iceberg. If what is the things possible? Your imagination. Anything you want is possible. Imagine a big dashboard. I want the cash balance to come. I'll give a date. I change the date filter. Let it go get the cash balance. I want the P&L graph month on month. I want the sales. Whatever you want, you set it. Write that query in the background. It will go fetch the data. Irrespective, whatever is the different tally, whatever the tally, it will fetch it, present it, and give it to you. And end of the day, it's Excel. You and I are familiar with Excel. We play the Excel. Excel is in our backhand. We can change the formula. We can do whatever we want. Everything is possible, right? So friends, on this note, I have come to end of my presentation. I said I'll complete it by 4:45 so that we can spend time on the question and answers. Now it's up to you to understand, ask any questions you have on this. I have given you both the links. You can just download it, play around. If you still have any doubts, you can always reach to me. And here is my email ID. Let me just put it in the chat so that you can always want to ask any doubts. Yeah, you can always reach to me, right? So this is all I intend to present to you guys today, and I hope it's worth your time. And the objective of the session on automation of the financial statements, you got a fair idea of how to automate. So over to the host and any question and answers.
Thank you so much, sir. If anyone has any questions, they can take up the questions right now. I think, sir, no one has any questions. You have explained it so nicely that
Naveen, we can wait for like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
If anyone is having any question,
you can unmute yourself and ask anything you want to ask on automation, how it needs to be done. And I'm not sure how many of you have tried hands-on. It's not complicated. Would the session be recorded? Would it be available to them?
Yes, sir. The session is recorded, so we'll be putting.
It's actually live on Facebook, so it would always be there.
Facebook, and we'll put it on YouTube also, sir.
Yeah. So anytime you can just watch it and see for yourself. The links are there. You can try it on. It's pretty simple.
Venugopal, sir.
Yes, sir.
The formulas which you have just shown for exporting in Tally, the groupings, the opening balance, the closing balance. I think for fetching this data from Tally, we need the codes in which format the Tally is storing it. For example, if I need closing balance and if I only write CL balance, it won't be able to fetch those things. So quite back, I have seen this Odbc connectivity through which we can access the database of the tallied file. And from there, we can actually choose the fields which we require.
Correct.
So can you please show or guide me, because I just forgot all those things, that how I can fetch the fields from the Tally itself and create a report of my own.
Right. So the only challenge on the Odbc is you cannot construct a report, number one. Second, the compatible drivers that you would be needing. So that is why the exact query that you would be needed for closing balance, opening balance, and everything I have written there. You can just copy paste that the query and you can just apply it. It's that pretty simple. In fact, I wouldn't recommend anyone connecting through Odbc. Now you should use only Power Query. It's just the beginning. You can construct your report. For example, I have shown you one query on list of voucher where GST is not there. That can be constructed as a query and you can fire it to Tally. Or I want to get one vendor balance. You just type the vendor in the drop down, press a button, fetch this ledger. Now, these are the queries you should build, okay, which is not possible in Odbc.
While trying for stock, we require a lot of reports in stock part where it is not available through defined format of Tally. So in that case, if we get the connectivity of the database in which it is storing, then we'll be able to create a report. The fields we can choose, and then the Odbc can fetch the data in Excel.
Yeah, the only challenge with the Odbc is not a computed report. It is a stored balance. So getting it is more challenging. Let me just show you. I personally, I wouldn't suggest doing it, but anyhow, I'll just show you. I would still suggest people to write a query rather than connecting through ODBC. It's just that in your data, get data. Now, earlier I used Park query. Now I'm using, say, from other sources. And here you can see from ODBC. So now there's another way of getting it, though I wouldn't recommend. So which is the OD? Tally ODBC. So you will, in the drop down, you have to select this, say OK. So it will show you, it will be like some little the thing. So it is showing that, okay, I have these many companies which are open connected, which one you want to connect to. Let me say I want to connect to this company. This is the tally user which is connected. So there are so many data tables you can think of. You will say there are so many tables. Okay, which one you want? I want the ledgers. So I'm going to the ledgers table. So you have huge number of fields in the ledgers table which is there. So do you want all the fields in the ledger table? You can transform the data. You can refresh it. You can transform the data. You can say that, no, I don't need all the tables. You can filter them. So you can, which will now, the filtering will take you to this Power Query automatically. You can filter them and see which are the columns you want and click on close and load to, it will come here. So this is another way of doing it, which Naveen sir was asking.
Connectivity is available only in this 365 Office, sir, because the earlier versions does not have this connectivity of going directly.
ODBC is available from Office 2010 onwards.
2010, 2007 and earlier versions are not having those.
Not there. Power Query, Office 2016 onwards is the Power Query that would be available.
Right, sir. And regarding that GST automation, sir, the matching of 2A and other things, you have also shown that the expenses and the other parts which are not linked with GST, where the GST is not there in the ledgers. So those TDLs has to be purchased.
Okay, so we use a vendor called GST Zen for filing our GST returns. All these TDLs are available on their portal for the users. So including that auto matching, everything, those happens automatically.
GST Zen.
Yeah. GSTzen.in, I think something. Yeah, GSTzen.in.
So I think it will be available on the Tally TDL folder, TDL availability.
Yes, Tally, compatible with Prime and ERP9. Again, which is a good software? Any software is good. Just that you should ask, ये मेरा feature से, ये requirement से, ये करके दे दीजिए. Every software vendor is willing to oblige today. It's like we don't explore. Maybe uske liye he wants to charge you some 10,000 rupees, 15,000 rupees. It's fine. It's one-time activity. It's going to save huge time for you.
Right, sir.
Any more questions?
Naveen, I don't see any other questions coming up. So maybe.
Yeah, so we can sum up the session right now, I think so. So I would like to, first of all, thank you, sir. It has been a wonderful session.
My pleasure.
Sir has talked about RPA implementation, taking advantage of technology, and the best part was the system demonstration part. It was simply awesome, sir. How to do automated reconciliation, HSN-wise classification automation, refund automation, auto watch reports. Also, you talked about M-script, the Power Query code, how to use M language to transform Tally to Schedule 3. The example was too good, sir. And sir, one quotation, sir. It is only when you are wrong that machines remind you how powerful they are. With this note, sir, thank you, sir, for demystifying the entire concept. Now I would request CA Siddhari, sir, to give a vote of thanks. Over to you, sir. I think, sir, please.
Siddhari, sir, you're on mute.
ল্যাপটপ দিয়ে দেবো যে লিখছে আপনি এখানে ভুলভাল টাইপিং আছে সিডুলার করতে হলো পাসওয়ার্ড চেঞ্জ করতে
Venugopal sir ka bahut bahut dhanyawad. I would like to share his phone number with the participants so that we can consult him whenever there is a problem while doing the work over the tele. That is the best thing. I think it will be great help to us, sir.
Sure, sir. Best thing is my mobile number, sir, because half the time मेरा phone silent में रहता है. I don't respond, and either meetings or the sessions. Email is best. I will always track the mails responded or not responded. I will be always available. But
Thanks.
Nevertheless, I don't mind sharing it. It's just that I don't want you to get upset that I'm not returning your calls.
No, what happens while doing the work, some problem pops in. So that times the participant may need help, your guidance at that time.
And at the same time, I'm not available. That's unfortunate.
Okay, sir, no problem, sir. I'm thankful for the participants for sparing time, and sir has explained in great detail with the practical aspect. All the practical aspect has been covered. We are thankful to you, sir, and we are looking forward to more such seminars from your side, sir.
Sure, sir. I would love to talk anything on automation. I only speak on GST and automation.
What is your email ID, sir? You can share over the screen.
Sir has done it in the chat box.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So views exchange will keep disturbing you for more and more sessions in future, because I mean, as we can see from the chat box also, that the participants are really happy with the session, and they are really, I mean, obliged that it was such a wonderful experience that they got. I mean, I just got some messages from my office also right now that the session was so wonderful. I mean, such kind of automation and such kind of powerful tools are there in Excel, whereby any entry that we make in Tally, automatically the updation is done in Excel. So I mean, hours of job can be completed in just few seconds or maybe few minutes. So which is a very, very powerful tool, or we can say. And we all see, I mean, we should look forward to such tools and exploring such tools and exploring such options in our office.
Yeah. Sure, sir. I'm happy to be part of this knowledge sharing session, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a pleasure, sir, that you came today and gave this session, sir.
Just one more question was coming to my mind, sir. Should I ask, sir?
Yes, please.
जितना जानते हैं बोलते हैं.
जो टैली के अंदर में आपने लास्ट में दिखाया that once we change any entry in tally, it gets updated in Excel automatically. Now I think the tally has to be synced with on the same computer where the Excel sheet has been saved, or it can fetch then how it will be accessing the Odbc, sir, again if I refresh.
By the way, I'm not using Odbc server. That's what I said. I have not connected through the Odbc. I have connected through browser. I have shown you that local host.
Yes,
now,
sir.
My tally might be loaded on Amazon. Okay. Like I'm consultant to a company where it has present all over India, and 300 tallies loaded, different places. Sitting here in my laptop, I fire a query. It will record an entry in that respective system automatically. Possible. That is where I was saying that switch to browser. From the browser, I'm connecting to the local host. Instead of local host, I will be typing 190 I have 8.8. something. There is a different which will connect to the server wherever the tally is hosted, and from there it moves.
So the local host will be changing, sir, for each tally. I think for each system, the local host gets changed, and the database will have a different access.
Tally Odbc by default runs on 9000 only. If you want, you can change the port to a different port.
So wherever the Tally data is there, we have to access first the system and then the localhost will be running.
Correct. Localhost by default it is localhost. Matlab, like I'm trying to connect locally rather than external.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I think we don't have any more questions, so I think we should end up the session right now. Umang?
Yes, we can do that, sir. So thank you once again, sir. It was
Thank you, sir.
it was an amazing session, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Bye everybody.
Bye, sir.
Bye. Thank you.
जय जिनेंद्र सर, नवीन जी कैसे हैं सर? कैसे है उमंग? कैसे है उमंग?
एकदम ठीक है ना?
All good, sir. All good.
अच्छा है, वेरी गुड सर, वेरी फाइन, बहुत अच्छा सेशन रहा, लर्निंग सेशन.
हाँ, it was मतलब बहुत ही अच्छा रहा, मतलब
द प्रैक्टिकल सेशन वाज वेरी नाइस. जो प्रैक्टिकल
May
करते
I
हैं उनको
stop
बहुत
the
एक्सपीरियंस.
recording, Umang?
हाँ, I'll just stop it.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू.